wanted to take some time this hour to talk about Utah State Gymnastics. So they've had their blue-white scrimmage. They've had the team together. They've been practicing. They've been rehearsing their routines. And now they're getting ready for a big showdown coming up this next week, next Monday at Maverick Center down in West Valley, where they're going to be facing Utah, Southern Utah, and BYU. We've got head coach Kristin White joining us here on the Full Court Press tonight. Coach, thanks for your time tonight.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk with you tonight.
Yeah, and I guess first I just want to ask about the roster a little bit. From what I was reading, you guys are returning a pretty large chunk of the roster. It's like 9 letter returners, 12 overall gymnasts. This from a Mountain West winning team from last year. Just tell us about this roster and what you've got coming back and what that means for this year.
Yeah, really excited to have a lot of our athletes returning. Obviously, losing such a phenomenal senior class has been just a little bit tough because we have so many new returners and newcomers coming in that haven't competed yet. But some of our athletes that we had this past season, we lost at the end of season due to some season-ending injuries. And so we're really excited to have those athletes get back to full strength and start making our lineups here on Monday.
Well, and I was looking at your roster. You've got 4 seniors and 5 juniors. So you have a good amount of upperclassmen on your roster. But what do you see out of them with the experience and leadership that they help bring to the rest of your team? Because you have like 6 freshmen, so you do have a lot of newcomers to your roster too.
We do, and I think having as many upperclassmen as we do right now is really great for us. They've been able to take the freshmen under their wing and show them what to do. And just with the experience of going through the season that we had last year and winning the Mountain West Championship and making it back to regionals, their leadership has been great this preseason on helping our freshmen get acclimated and just understanding, our core values and what we stand for as a program and the success that we want to continue to have.
You mentioned those core values. I know something that, resonated throughout the program last year was the PZF mentality, I think the .05. I don't know, does that motto carry over to this year, or you come up with a new one? I mean, I imagine that's still a big mentality for this program.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think PZF was kind of our motto last year, but quite honestly, it's turned into, our identity. What can we do every single day to be .05 better in our life? And I think that's just something that our team has really held on to. And I think, again, it's just part of our identity now and just kind of the way that we run our program and the standards we hold ourselves to. So it's definitely still our motto for this year. We also want to be all in, right? Making sure that we're making every choice, every decision to the best of our ability to be as competitive as possible this year. So really looking forward to that same PZF mentality and sharing it with everybody this season.
I know you had a special season last year, and you, with the way that you guys compete and the way you schedule, you test yourselves. You go up against some really talented athletes at a lot of different institutions. And this event coming up this next week on Monday, these are all in-state, but these are all really good programs. Talk a little bit about, before we talk about those teams that you're going to be facing, you've got 3 on your roster from the state of Utah. So what does that mean to them to be able to face Southern Utah, BYU, and Utah in a single event?
The state of Utah is incredibly lucky to have 4 Division I programs that compete at a very, very high level. And so the opportunity to get to host this event every year at the Maverick Center is fantastic. It's on podium. It gives us that championship feel early on in the season. And so for our local Utah girls, they're so excited to get to compete in front of their home crowd. A lot of them obviously grew up in Utah, so they have a lot of teammates that attend all of the other universities in the state. And so it's just a great, homecoming for them. And they thrive in that environment. They love competing there, and as do all of our athletes. It's one of the best competitions that we compete in each and every year. And so we're excited to get to go back and start our season there on Monday.
Well, and you kind of touched on it. There's going to be my follow-up just to the level of competition at this event. Like, last year and perennially, Utah has a very strong program, nationally ranked. Southern Utah has been nationally ranked. BYU is always very competitive. This isn't just a normal, any regular multi-team event that you might go and participate in. This is like high-level gymnastics that's going to be taking place on Monday.
Absolutely. And, I can't think of a better opportunity for our women to get to compete in such a prestigious event. The sport of gymnastics is so unique to every other sport. Yes, wins and losses matter, but ultimately they don't really matter in our sport. It's our scoring potential, right? And so anytime we get the opportunity to compete against some of the best teams in the country, that just enhances our performance to another level. And so I'm excited to start our season, see those teams. Utah, they started their season last weekend, so they've already got one meet under their belt. And actually the meet on Monday will be their third meet of the season, and it will be our first meet. So really looking forward to seeing how our women start the season off this year.
And you mentioned some of these other teams being nationally ranked. You guys were voted 33rd in a preseason national poll. Just how much confidence does that give you to the program? I know technically nobody's really earned any rankings yet as far as what they've done this season, but how encouraging is it to see Utah State garnering that respect where they're able to get these rankings even in the preseason?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. It's the first time since I've been at Utah State that we've been back in the preseason poll. So, kudos to our team last year for having an incredible year and to our staff for recruiting some phenomenal freshmen. And, it's just an honor, but we've got to prove it, right? Like our peers see that we're getting better, and we've got to continue to elevate each and every meet this year. And so something that'll be a little bit different this season is our national qualifying score has changed. In the past, it was essentially 6 meets of our year is what would qualify you to the NCAA tournament. And this season, we're counting pretty much every score this year. So, there's going to be a little bit of shift and some interesting things to see what happens with the rankings this season. But obviously, competing consistently is going to be the number one goal of our team this season.
So you've mentioned bringing in some good freshmen. You've also mentioned you're losing some great seniors from last year's class. Who are the players that are either completely new to this team or maybe new to a bigger role on this team? Who are some of those players that we should be watching out for that we'll get to know their names, but we don't know them yet?
Yeah, definitely, one of our seniors, Chelsea Southam, she really hasn't competed a ton for us during her time here at Utah State, and she's currently in 2 events for us right now on vault and floor, and she's just made phenomenal progress this off season, and so we're really excited to see her contribute to the team. Definitely in terms of freshmen, Aliana Valdez, she's incredibly talented, very, very powerful. I think we could quite possibly see her in the all-around at some point this year. As of right now, she's slated to do 2 of the 4 events, possibly 3 at the Best of Utah on Monday. And then Annabelle Dewey, also another powerful athlete that we'll see in the vault lineup. And then we have a couple other ladies that will be competing as well. But those are probably the 2 standouts that we're expecting to contribute the most. We do have one freshman that will not be competing with us that we were hoping that would make a couple of the lineup spots. She's out due to injury, but we're hoping to get her back maybe towards the end of the season this year.
We're talking to Kristin White, Utah State gymnastics head coach. They've got the Best of Utah meet coming up at the Maverick Center on Monday next week. It starts at 7 o'clock with BYU, Utah, and Southern Utah all in action there. And then the following Saturday, you host Southern Utah in Logan at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. What's that like to face a team in a multiple team event and then just have that one team only at your place? Like, how is that different when you're competing against 4 different or 3 different schools, 4 schools total in one event, and then you shift to just the 2 of you going back and forth?
Honestly, there's not too much difference. Definitely when you have a quad meet, it feels a little bit more energized. Sometimes you may have more fans in the stands just because there's more teams competing. So it will be slightly different, but Southern Utah is a team that we face each and every year, home and away, so we're very familiar with that team. They bring great energy, great gymnastics, and so I'm really excited for this first home competition. It's the first time that we've hosted a meet not on a Friday here in Logan since I've been here, and so I'm really looking forward to our fans coming out on Saturday at noon and experiencing a little matinee gymnastics, and looking forward to having a great crowd to support our women.
Well, Coach, best of luck on Monday this next week, and we look forward to seeing you in Logan on the following Saturday, on the 17th, with your first home match. But best of luck to your squad this week.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you all soon. And again, I hope everyone comes out. Buy your season tickets this season. They're only $50, which is a steal if you come to every home meet. And so we're really looking forward to having a great crowd and seeing you guys here in the next week or so.
Absolutely.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you. Go Aggies.
That's Kristin White, the head coach of the Utah State women's gymnastics program. Again, the Best of Utah meet, which will feature Utah State, BYU, Southern Utah, and Utah all together in one venue at the Maverick Center in West Valley. It starts at 7 o'clock. And then the following Saturday on January 17th at noon is when they have their home opener against Southern Utah. So the gymnastics season is upon us.